the now famous statement, sometimes you have to bend the law to please our people. You're familiar with that?
Not so familiar with that, Your Honor.
How come you're not familiar with that? May I refresh your memory?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
We were talking about, this issue of prostitution and blah, blah, blah. Hanggang dumating yung isang point where one of us made a suggestion. Sometimes we have to bend the law in order to please the people. And he asked the former Secretary of Justice for affirmation. Am I correct, Mr. Secretary? And the Secretary said, yes, sir. You agree with the affirmation of the Secretary of Justice?
I do not agree.
Thank you.
I do not agree because basically in implementing the law, there are positions you can take. But bending the law is not one of them, Your Honor.
Buti na lang ganyan ang sinagot mo. Kasi sa ibang mga interview, sinasabi niya, oh, bending the law is okay, basta wag lang breaking the law. How can you accept that kind of statement? You cannot bend the law. No one is above the law, sabi pa nga natin. And the overarching principle in the promulgation of our Constitution is upholding the rule of law. No one should bend the law. Not even in imagination. Mahirap po yun eh. Kasi kung sinabi mong you agree, ang dami po kasi nagte-text sa akin, Yusek Andres. Ganyan pa lang ginagawa sa mga taxes na binabayad namin. Mga buwis namin eh. Hirap na hirap kami, mga halos dugo, pawis. Minsan may kahalo pang sipon eh. Makapagbayad lang kami ng tamang buwis sa ating pamahalaan bilang mga patriotic na citizens. Pwede mo ba, sir? Sabi nila sa akin. Ilaban mo naman kami, yung 2026, wag na muna kami magbayad ng tax. Because somebody said, sometimes we can bend the law to please the people. I may be able to please them, Secretary. Kasi yun ang text nila. Can I say yes to them? Can I?
You
Thank you. Ito pong Secretary, yung pagkaka-transport ng dating Pangulo ng Republika sa The Hague. Ang pagkakaalam ko po kasi, maraming pronouncement ang ating Pangulo. Yung iba na-memorize ko pa nga po eh. We will not assist the ICC in any way, in any form. From now on, I ask my secretaries to do the same. I mean, something like that. Pero nangyari, kabaligtaran, Secretary, di ba? The former Secretary of Justice explained that, well, those pronouncements are not cast in stone. Ito na naman eh. Ito yung parang ephemeral lang nangyayari. Parang the government officials' decision, sabi niya, sometimes can be changed at times. What do you think are the factors that necessitated a change of mind? Like from not assisting the ICC in any manner, in any way, in any form, he was just transported there. Now languishing in the detention center on the other side of the planet. What do you think are the factors used by the DOJ?
First, Your Honor, if I'm not familiar to the particular circumstances that the particular facts that which made the secretary made the actions
Who is
before.
familiar? Who is familiar from
And
among
second,
you?
Your Honor, if I also may state, the matter is pending now with the matter before the Supreme Court. So the position, the legal position on the actions of the former Secretary of Justice has been elucidated with the court. But for the Department of Justice, it's Chief Dennis Chan who made the argument and presented the position of the DOJ in this regard, Your Honor.
My question is, what are the factors that necessitated a change of mind from not helping the ICC in any way, in any form, which is a policy matter, with the reverse that happened?
I'm not privy to that, Your Honor.
Who is privy? Kasi parang,
Your Honor, it may be the former secretary, now the ombudsman.
oh, wala na siya sa DOJ, nasa ombudsman na siya. Alam nga namang
Yes.
ipatawag natin siya rito.
Yes, Your Honor.
What happens now to the principle of continuity? Well, people might say and suspect that, even policy matters can be changed by mere whims or caprices, which are not probably based on sound legal basis. You are familiar with Republic Act 9851. This is our Philippine Act on crimes against international humanitarian law, genocide, and other crimes against humanity.
Not so familiar with that. 9851, Your Honor.
Kasi, Secretary, under that law, ang jurisdiction po ng mga tao na nagkasala under this law, under Section 17 of that law, the state shall exercise jurisdiction over persons, whether military or civilian, suspected or accused of a crime defined and penalized under the Act, regardless of where the crime is committed, provided any of the following conditions is met. The accused is a Filipino citizen. The accused, regardless of citizenship or residence, is present in the Philippines, or the accused has committed the said crime against a Filipino citizen. So if these are the assumptions in the law, ang Pilipinas ay may jurisdiction. And under Section 18, the Philippine courts, prosecution, and investigators, the regional trial courts of the Philippines, shall have original and exclusive jurisdiction over the crimes punishable under this Act. Ngayon po, if we consider the applicability of this law, bakit po na-transport yung dating Pangulo natin at hindi natin nilitis sa sarili po nating jurisdiction?
If with permission of the Honorable, may I refer to the Chief Dennis Chan?
Good morning, Your Honors. Good morning, Senator Marcoleta and Senator Gatchalian. You are correct, Your Honor, that Section 17 on jurisdiction provides for the state exercising jurisdiction over persons suspected or accused of committing a crime penalized under RA 9851. The second paragraph of Section 17, Your Honors, does mention that in the interest of justice, the relevant Philippine authorities may dispense with the investigation or prosecution of a crime if another court or international tribunal is already conducting the investigation or undertaking the prosecution of such crime. Instead, the authorities may surrender or extradite suspected or accused persons in the Philippines to the appropriate international court, if any, or to another state pursuant to the applicable extradition laws and treaties. Your Honor, I believe this was the justification relied upon by the former Secretary of Justice in the action leading to the transfer of the former President, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Chair, they are referring to the second paragraph of Section 17 of 9851. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Prosecutor, I noted that, but I think the colatilla is very, very clear. Pursuant to the applicable extradition laws and treaties. This is absent. So how can you invoke this? Wala na tayong treaty. We have just withdrawn from the Rome Statute. So this cannot be applied. Is that correct?
Your Honor, the way we interpreted that second sentence of instead the authorities may surrender or extradite, we see there two different actions to be taken by the state. It's either to surrender or to extradite, and then if it is to extradite, then it must be pursuant to an applicable extradition law or treaty. So the action taken, Your Honor, was surrender and not extradition.
No, pero ang sinasabi niya, pareho sila eh. Yung dalawang conditions na yun will be cut under this pursuant to the applicable extradition laws and treaties. Wala tayong extradition law, wala na tayong treaty because we just withdrawn from the Rome Statute. Hindi mo pwedeng gamitin ito. Kaya dapat yung mag-a-apply is 9851. This is our own law. Okay lang naman dito eh. Can we not prosecute the former president kung talagang meron siyang kasalanan? Our National Prosecution Service, the judiciary, I think, is or are operating, and they're willing, they're competent enough to prosecute, adjudicate, and proceed with the trial. Hindi ba?
Your Honor, with all apologies, I am not able to answer the question as to whether we can prosecute. I am just merely stating that the action of the former Secretary of Justice for the transfer of the former President to the ICC was premised on Section 17, RA 9851, under the second paragraph.
Yes, but what I'm saying is you cannot use this one because of the absence of an extradition law and treaty. That is the point here.
And Your Honor, that is the subject matter or among one of the issues that we raised or that is being discussed in the Supreme Court petitions that were filed.
Pero nangyari na kasi, dinala nyo na siya doon eh, under the false claim na pwede nyong gawin because of this. But you did not complete the whole statement. Kung kinonsider nyo yung pursuant to the applicable extradition laws and treaties, hindi dapat nangyari yun eh. So ngayon, kung halimbawa, nag-argue kayo sa Supreme Court, nangyari na yun, ando na yung mama, di ba?
Your Honor, if I may also explain, I have no knowledge or participation whatsoever in the events that
Hindi, okay naman yun. Kaya tinuro ka kasi ni...
Yes, Your Honor, to explain the legal justification or premise on which
Yeah, but the legal justification is wrong.
we submit, Your Honor, although that is already pending before the Supreme Court, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome, Your Honor.
Chair, salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta, for those interventions. Secretary, babalik lang ako doon sa yung tanong kong the roles between ICI. Meron bang duplication between ICI and DOJ? Both are fact-finding, both are case building. Meron bang duplication, and how do we differentiate the two roles or the two bodies?
May PG Dong would answer.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. There would be no duplication, sir, because in the investigations which are conducted by the Department of Justice, with the assistance of the NBI, during the meetings that we have, members of or representatives from the ICI are also present. And we supply them and we furnish them copies of whatever the results are of the investigation, just to make sure that ICI is also informed of the actions being taken by the Department of Justice. And as much as possible, any filings, for example, that we did with the Office of the Ombudsman is also furnished the ICI, just so to make sure that we're not investigating the same cases. Now, as far as the Department of Justice is concerned, we can proceed already with our own investigation depending on the evidence that is submitted to us or gathered by the National Bureau of Investigation. So on our own, we can already, through the assistance of the NBI, make recommendations for cases which may be filed already for preliminary investigation. Now, as far as the ICI is concerned, my understanding, sir, is that they are fact-finding, and whatever the results of their fact-finding investigation would be is the one which will be forwarded to the Office of the Ombudsman or the Department of Justice, as the case may be.
The